Hi, I'm Katie. I am a professional makeup artist and I am here on YouTube making videos to help you get better at doing your own makeup. In today's video, I'm going to show you one of my most requested looks by my clients in my makeup chair using my brand new Natasha Denona Glam palette that I got in my lucky bag. So if that sounds interesting to you, just keep watching. Hello, welcome back to my channel. So in my last video, I unboxed my Beautylish Lucky Bag. And if you saw that one, you saw that I got the Natasha Denona Glam palette, which I have been wanting for a while. And I was very excited to get it in my lucky bag. So I've been playing with it the last few days. And in looking at this color story and the way she has things laid out, this palette is perfect for my most requested makeup looks that I get from my clients, especially for weddings, but for quite a few other things as well. A nice neutral eye that's nicely accentuated so that the eyes really pop, with a bit of shimmer in like a gold or a champagne or along those lines, right? All these colors. And in looking at this palette, instead of shade names, they have position names of where you would put them on the face, right? So you have your crease color, you have your transition color, you have your center lid, your inner lid, your outer lid, lash line, etc., right? That's how she has them marked. Now, the cool thing about this palette is that as it's laid out now, it's laid out for fair skin tones like myself, right? Those names for those colors are perfect. But if I was a deeper skin tone, I would need to rearrange things. I would need to move some of these darker tones up to transition and crease. And, you know, things wouldn't work quite the same. So the cool thing about her palettes, Natasha Denona palettes, is that they have these little holes on the back of the palette. You can stick a pin in and you can pop that palette, that pan out and reposition them to wherever you want them, which is awesome. So I'm going to show you today my most requested look for weddings, we'll say, using the Natasha Denona palette with her instructions of where she says to place things. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Here we go. First things first, we are going to start with an eye primer. I always use an eye primer. Helps the shadow last, helps the colors stay true to the way that you're applying them. Use whichever one works best for you. As I make a mess of it here, get it all over myself. Use whichever one works best for you. I like the NARS smudge proof, but they have been out of stock, at least in the US here lately, which is frustrating. I'm assuming it's supply chain issues because they're still on their site and they came back briefly and then went away real fast. So hopefully soon, because I need more for my professional kit. Okay, so we've got our base down. Then the first color that we are going to go into is what she calls the transition color. So that's this color right here. Now the goal with that color, I would say it's like the whole lid color, right? The goal with this is to have a color that is close to your skin tone and is going to give you the base of color that you want, right? So for this look, since we're going for something very neutral and natural, glam kind of thing, I want something that's close to my skin tone, but not too light. Does that make sense? So this color is actually perfect. So I'm going to go into my Rephr 01. It's a nice fluffy eyeshadow brush. Rephr makes excellent brushes. And I'm going to sweep that over the entire lid from the lash line all the way up to the brow. Right? You want your base color or your transition color to be the best base for whatever colors you're putting on top, right? So you're gonna use, I would use a different color for if I was doing something super colorful, or different skin tones, obviously. And I may not take it all the way up to the eyebrow either. So there's that down. That's gonna set our primer and give us a nice base of color for where we wanna go with this look. So the next shadow we're gonna go into is the crease, and the one that's called Crease in her palette is the second one right here. It's a nice mid-tone toppy brown. And then I'm gonna use my Sonia G Mini Booster brush. You can see it's a nice tapered brush, not too big. I like this, it fits my eyes well. And then I'm going to put that in the crease. I had people ask me, what's that? What does that mean, the crease? The crease is your eye socket, where your eyeball, in between your eyeball and your brow bone, right? Where that hole is, that's your crease. If you can't see it easily on your shaped eyes, just feel. Sorry, I gotta stop talking there for a second. Oh my goodness. I talk to myself a lot when I'm doing my makeup too. So you would think that doing it on video would come naturally, but sometimes you just kind of get lost in what you're doing. Okay, so I've got that in the crease, nice and blended. You can see I didn't use a lot of windshield wiper. I mostly little circles to get that color on, right? So that's the crease. Next, we're going to go into the smoke color, which is this one right here. And it's a little bit of a deeper brown, and we're going to use that to deepen up the outside of the eyelid, right? So if you think back to like stage makeup or even art, if you're an artist, dark things recede, light things come forward. So in order to make the eyes pop, the color and the whites of the eyes, we want to recede things around them. So we want to deepen them up a little bit so that they stand out more. So I'm going to bring this color along my lash line here, nice big area, and then up to the crease. So kind of in like a V or C shape here, loosely. It used to be very much a V when I was younger. Now I have to do more of a C for this to accommodate for the sagging lid. And I'm bringing the end of it about to the middle of my eye, right here. And then bring it out to the crease and blend. Blendy, blendy, blendy. Okay, so there's that one down. You can see what I've done so far. I'm gonna come in with my brush that I use, my transition shade. I'm not picking up any more color, I'm just using the same brush. And I'm just going to lightly sweep over the edges of those darker colors that I just put down around the outside and on the lid to blend the edges, right? That's blending. Soften those edges out. Okay, now I'm going to come into the shimmer color. So there's quite a few in this palette. I'm gonna go with the center eyelid. This color here is probably one of my most used shades, not in this palette. Obviously this palette is brand new, but I have similar colors in other palettes that I use on my clients. Probably one of the most requested. If I had deeper skin tone, I would go with more of a gold to get the same effect, like this one. So I'm going to take my Rephr 02. It's a shorter kind of squatter eyeshadow brush that's a little bit denser, right? So that I can pack on that shimmer. I don't want to sweep the shimmer because then I'm going to flick those flecks of mica and whatever shimmery things away, right? I want to press it on. So I'm going to get my color on here. Tap off the excess. And then I'm going to start in the center of the lid and I'm just going to press it, pack it. Little kitten punches. on my eyeball. Notice I'm not going all the way up here. I'm just keeping it to the part of my lid that covers my eyeball. The mobile lid, as it's called. Here we go. Why do I feel out of breath? I don't know. Okay, and then we're going to just keep packing that on there until you get the color that you want. And I'm blending over the edge of the dark, but I'm not really bringing it all the way out here. I'm not sweeping over the whole thing. I'm just kind of coming over the edge so that they kind of look like they fade one into the other. Right? So that's our first layer down. We're going to come back in and bump it up a little bit more, but first we're going to do the lash lines. So for the bottom lash line, I want to bring the crease color underneath the lashes to give us a little bit of that depth again, so that the whites and the colors of the eyes can pop out a little bit more. Especially on someone that's fair like myself, you need a little bit of darkness around the eyeball itself in order for the eyeball color to pop, right? So we're going to go back into that crease shade with this little teeny tiny pencil brush. This is a Rephr 03, and I'm going to come under. So I'm starting here. Can you see that, I hope? Right? Coming up to connect right there. And then I'm just going to lightly drag it across. Drag and stamp across. So you can see, looking from one eye to the other, it's very subtle, but it just gives a little bit of shadow, darkness, so that the lighter can pop. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, starting on this outer corner, dragging it to meet the upper lid. And then all the way across underneath, just a little bit of shadow. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do for that. And then we're gonna move on to the eyeliner. So I am gonna go in with one of my favorite eyeliners. This is the Sephora Ultimate Gel Liner. It's waterproof, which is great for weddings. This one is in Espresso Matte. A nice dark deep espresso matte brown is one of my favorites to use on nearly everybody. Some people look better with a black, but most people, a nice deep brown is going to be the softest and nicest look. Now, some people will request with this color story a winged liner, but in this case, we're going to go for something a little bit softer with the shadows. So I'm going to come into my eye from underneath here. So my pencil is pointing to where I want the color to land. So the color is landing right at my lash line. Now with me, I have to use a magnifying mirror in order to see that because my lashes are blonde and I have poor eyesight. So we're going to come into the lash line. Hopefully I'm not going too quick through this. Don't want a super long video, so trying to keep it brief. And I'm just smudging that right on the lash line. Right? Almost to the waterline, but not quite. Right in where the lashes grow out of your eyelid. Right? So we're going to do that, and we're going to do it again on the other side. And this does take practice to do. You can't do it with your eyes closed. You'll end up with eyeliner on top and bottom and not the places you want. So it does take some practice. Just focus on the mirror that you have in front of you, not the pencil coming at your eye, and blink as much as you need to. All right, so to deepen that up, give it a little bit more oomph, a little bit more glam, I'm going to come in on top of that eyeliner with this deepest color in the palette that she calls Lash Line. Okay, so we're going to take that same Rephr brush, that teeny tiny one. I cleaned off some of that color onto my little towel here, and I'm just going to come into that color, and I'm going to smudge it right on top. So you see that I'm coming in at the same angle as I did with my pencil into the lash line. I want that color really smudged in there and not poke myself in the eye so that it really deepens up that lash line, because that's what's really going to make the eyes sparkle and stand out. Yeah? Let's do the other side. This one is definitely more practice to do because you're rubbing a little bit on your lash line, right? So it tickles a little bit. So it's hard not to blink, so you'll see me kind of, but you can do it, I promise. Right into that lash line with that color. And this color is almost the same color as the pencil I was using, which is cool. Okay, and then we look and make sure that we've got them the same. Looks like I need a little bit more on this side. Like so. Let me zoom you in here a little bit. Okay, hi, nice and close. Hopefully now you can see the eye just a little bit better. And I'm gonna take that brush that I had the crease color on, no additional color, just using that brush to kind of blend that outer corner like so. And I'm gonna come back to my shimmery color, that center eyelid color, kind of the champagne-y gold one. And I'm gonna press more of that on because we want more shimmer for this look. And it kind of blurs that, that lash line edge as well. So if you find you're having trouble with a brush and you're not getting the color payout that you want, try using your finger. If you have long nails and you will poke yourself in the eye, get yourself some of these sponge tip applicators. They sell them at the drugstore. These are fabulous for putting on glitters and shimmers and things like that. Yeah, and yes, they still make them. Old school stuff. Okay. I am happy with that. I like that. So what I want to do is I want to go in and I want to clean up around my eye and put on my concealer. So the rest of my foundation and blush and everything, as you can see, is already done. So I'm going to take my little cleanup cloth here. This is just one of those makeup remover kind of microfiber dealy bobs. This one's made by Face Halo. They shaped them into like this finger pocket, which I like for cleaning up under the eye. If you're super messy, do your foundation and your concealer and everything last so you can clean up any fallout or anything that you might have and you don't have to redo something that you already did, right? So there we go. Show you that. Now, I want to look at myself in the mirror, right? So I'm looking at myself in the mirror. So I'm going to look at you. And I'm going to look at the eyes and see if there's anything that needs to be balanced out. So right off the bat, I can see that I can see more of this darker color here than I can over here. So I want to come in and I want to even that out. So I'm going to take my crease brush, dip it just a little bit into that crease color, just a tad, and I'm going to bring that color up just a little bit higher, add just a little bit more so that it's more evened out. Right? So now they're a little bit more even, if you can tell. Adjust my wrinkles. Yeah? Yeah, see? Now, something you can do with, if you have a palette that has a skin tone color to it, You can take a fluffy brush. I like this one by Real Techniques. It is, what number is this? Oh my goodness, I can't even see it. 301, I think. It's one of their eye brushes. It's nice and fluffy. So I'm going to get that transition color on there, and I'm just going to clean up the edge out here and around this way. Clean all that up. Right? Instead of having to go into face powder and whatever else, you can just use the eyeshadow that you were doing to really make those edges nice and soft. So I suppose that's the name of it, is a softness to it, a glam, but it's nice and soft. So we're gonna get a little bit of concealer here. I don't need a whole lot. I don't have a lot of discoloration, so, and taking just a little bit of my foundation up usually does the job for me. But we're going to do a tad out here. I get discoloration, and right there. Not much. I just barely dabbed it. It looks like there's a lot there because the color contrast is so different, but I just barely dabbed the little wand. And then I'm going to take this brush here. This is a denser synthetic brush. Another Real Techniques brush. This one, the number is 300, I think. I like this one for blending out my concealer. So I'm just going to stipple. I'm going to dab and drag. Just stipple it. Little kitten punches across. Yeah. See how that just kind of brightens and lifts everything around the eye up? Coming in with my concealer there. That was the NARS Light Reflecting Concealer. It's one of my favorites. Love it. Okay. There we go. So last step is going to be the eyelashes. And you're going to want to make sure that you curl either with a traditional eyelash curler beforehand to really lift those eyelashes, or with a heated one after you apply your mascara. I prefer a heated because my eyelashes are so stinking short. I can't quite get them into an eyelash curler. They don't really fit, if you can believe it. So this is the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. I love this one. The wand is good for me. The color's good. It's nice and volumizing and lengthening, which I like. Since my lashes are so short, I know I'm not going to get a lot of length, even from lengthening mascaras. So I tend to focus on volume and really get them to look denser. And then on the bottom. So that's just one coat, if you can see, between the two eyes. You can see the difference there. Okay. Now, you know, if I was getting ready for a wedding or performance or event or whatever, or if it was a client, I would do false eyelashes. Whichever one we decided on. Usually I do individuals, sometimes strips for my clients. Just depends on what they want. On myself, I tend to do strips because it's faster on myself. Mostly because of my eyesight. Let's see. So heated lash curler is going to come in here in just a minute. I'm doing a second coat on the top. If you have nice dark lashes, you may be able to get away with no mascara on the bottom or even no eyeliner. Just use the eyeshadow. But you know, it's up to you and what you prefer, your preference. Okay, I'm going to come in with my heated eyelash curler. And if you want some tips on eyelash curlers, I have a video that I did where I reviewed a bunch of different ones and I explained some differences in different shapes and sizes that you can get and all the different types. So check that out if you're interested. Hi watch more of my videos. Like and subscribe. You gotta do all those things when you make YouTube videos, right? You gotta be that person. So this is just, it's heating it, and I'm holding it up so that they just so that they turn up just a little bit. It's hard to notice it on me. I can tell. Most people I can tell a big difference when I curl their lashes. So let's put on my new Wayne Goss lipstick and then we'll be done. So we're going to line the lip with this new lip liner that I got. Already sharpened. If you start at the outside corner on the upper lip, you'll get a rounder shape, a fuller shape. So I usually go corners in and then fill it in. Smear it. Dab it with my finger. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my new Wayne Goss lipstick in, what was it, Daisy? The Daisy, my favorite dog. There we go, that's pretty. That's a nice, soft, subtle look. Let me zoom back out here again. Hello again. So here we are, finished look. You know, maybe I could even like take my hair down. It's kind of wild today. But there we have a nice soft glam look using the Natasha Denona Glam palette. And my most requested look by my clients that sit in my makeup chair. So this is going to be a really great fun palette for me to play with. I'm gonna really enjoy it. I have enjoyed it the last few days with it so far. If you want to see any more, maybe using some different colors or some different placements or anything like that, let me know. I would be happy to do another video for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a great day. Bye-bye.